Hello, it's Philip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking. I'm looking at a book from Oxford University Press. It's this book here on privacy by Professor Raymond Wacks. It's in the a very short introduction series of about 200 books, and stimulating ways into new subjects is how OUP describe it. This is the book itself. Obviously at the front you've got a list of all the previous publications in the series, 6 chapters, and at the back you've got a useful appendix with bibliographical information and then an index. It is actually a detailed book. It's got a few pictures in, which makes life a bit easier. It's always nice to have a few pictures, but obviously it deals with all the main issues. It's something of relevance to journalists and everybody else. We've given it the short review, Are You Being Watched? I've written the appreciation with my wife Elizabeth. And what we say is this, in essence. You can read the detailed review on the internet, but we say that Professor Raymond Wacks has created an in-depth exploration in about 150 pages, which is pretty good going, of the increasingly complex and controversial subject of privacy. And the new addition to the very short introduction series from OUP is most welcome in our opinion, because it's got the academic element, but it's also got a personal, the human touch if you like, which is very much part of this particular subject. And it's short enough for the beleaguered commuter to read on the train, or say the harassed lawyer to read in the courtroom corridor. As I say, it's one of over 200 of the very short introduction series, and they're very welcome. I find them exceptionally good if I'm hanging around waiting for something, which is the inevitable problem of the type of work I do as an advocate. In the preface, Wacks states that the association with privacy and data protection has been from a legal perspective throughout, so he's obviously looked at it from that point of view. And he says, in law, it being an indispensable instrument in the protection of privacy. This is basically the current statement that we have. And he encompasses, obviously, within the concept of privacy, social, cultural, political and psychological issues. Obviously, in our view, there's probably no more erudite and persuasive an advocate for protecting privacy than Raymond Wacks. And if you ever find yourself in a debate on privacy versus free speech, this is the book you need. The arguments obviously are very convincing at the moment with recent technological developments for the 21st century. You've got all the problems of electronic surveillance, biometrics, CCTV, the dreaded ID cards, all sorts of other little things which are associated with eroding basically the sort of privacy cocoon that we're in. And against this you've got the free speech issue, which is well covered. What Dr. Johnson might have termed yelps for privacy often come from individuals or institutions ranting about transparency, then ranting in favour of privacy to cover up things they'd rather not you didn't know about. Of course, that's where the balance comes in, and as you know, within the Human Rights Act, the privacy, the freedom of speech things, they both run parallel, so neither takes precedence. What to do then? The ideal answer about how we deal with this issue of the conflict of privacy and free speech is that Wacks says it's got to be carefully drafted legislation that creates civil and criminal sanctions for seriously offensive, intentional and reckless intrusion into an individual's solitude or seclusion, and the unauthorised publication of personal information. And so it is a difficult tightrope to walk. And clearly at the moment we don't have a privacy law as such, although Mr. Justice Eadie has been at the forefront of doing various things in that area. So in conclusion, what we say is that Wacks has made a valuable, reasoned and authoritative contribution to the ongoing debate that continues to rage around this particularly thorny subject. And the question remains, though, of course, are you being watched when you read this very short introduction? You could be if you're on the train or in the corridor. So it's all a matter of balance. But thank you, Raymond. Another excellent book from you. Bye-bye.